Hello everybody, welcome along to Toyota Grassroots Rugby, and we've got a real treat for you today. We're heading east to the Chatham Islands, before we go south to Dunedin and then further south to Southland as we take in footy from the grassroots throughout New Zealand. And it really is throughout New Zealand when you drag in the Chatham Islands. 600 or 700 kilometres east of New Zealand, we sent Jock Ross, courtesy of Air Chathams, all the way to these isolated bits of land sticking out of the South Pacific Ocean.
Hi everybody, well this part of the Toyota Grassroots Rugby Show comes to you for offshore from the mainland, and we're in the wonderful Chatham Islands, which is about 400 nautical miles east of New Zealand on the 44th parallel. Now if you want to know where that is, it's the same as Hinds, which is a small mid-Canterbury township about 15 k's south of Ashburton on State Highway 1. Now we've just arrived here, as you can see, on Air Chathams, had a wonderful flight, and we're here for a memorial rugby match to commemorate a terrible tragedy that happened here 86 years ago in 1931. But there'll be more about that later. I've got with me now the CEO of the Air Chathams, Mr. Craig Emeny. Craig, welcome to the show. And first of all, thank you very much for getting the crew over here to do this game. Most appreciated. The company is very appreciative. So tell me about your role as the CEO for Air Chathams.
Oh, well, myself and my family have run the airline over here since the mid-80s, and it's just a matter of providing air service that's continuous and effective and gets everything in that the Chatham Islands need.
Yeah. So you've been at this for a long time. You were talking earlier on about flying live crayfish. That must have been, that was the start of the career?
It was, yes, and in the mid-80s we started flying live crayfish out from the Chathams to the mainland for live export, and that really changed things over here. It brought a lot more money into the island because of the value of the product. Yeah. And of course it got Air Chatham started as an airline in its own right.
Yeah. Are you involved here with encouraging tourists into the islands?
Oh, very much so. We work very closely with all the people who provide accommodation and also promoting the Chathams. Yeah. And there's just lots and lots of people who want to come here. It's a special experience.
Gee, I don't know about you, but I'm just sitting here looking at this. That's a weka. Now, over much of the country, they're a protected bird. They're a bit of a nuisance here. Wow, this is just really quite something I've never really experienced before. That's Tommy Solomon. He was the last of the full-blooded Moriori here on the Chatham Islands. The Moriori, the original settlers.
Well, Jim, there was obviously a lot of activity here in the early days.
Yeah, this was an early whaling station, and the sealers come here and the whalers arrived here, and later on the missionaries arrived here, and they, of course the whalers didn't get on with the missionaries, so they moved down to the next bay. But the missionaries stayed here till about from 1830s to the 1860s, and it was quite an industrial place. They grew a lot of potatoes here, and they took boats of potatoes to New Zealand, and then later on they took them as far as Sydney. But it's had quite a bit of history. It used to be at 7 or 8 houses down here one time. It was quite a industrial site, and unfortunately the beach was all sand. Cyclone Bowler washed all the stone walls away and that, so it was a bit of a shame because it was quite a unique spot.
We'll get to the rugby soon, promise you, but fishing is a major part of life here on the Chathams, and here is the port in the main township of Waitangi.
Greg, welcome to the show. Now, we're here at the Waitangi Wharf. There's obviously a lot of activity going on here lately.
Yeah, this is a major redevelopment on the wharf. Hopefully it's going to grow the economy on the Chathams. This is what we all endeavour to have. We want the economy to grow. We've got an airport redevelopment hopefully in the future. More economy, and more people coming back, and in terms of rugby, hopefully some of those people will be rugby players.
So when is this going to be completed?
Completion hopefully in March 2018. Yeah.
So the boat's obviously in now. There's activity. There's lambs going on.
Yeah. So the boat's just arrived back from Timaru. It's discharging cargo at the moment, and it's going to load up with sheep and cattle and head back to Napier.
Oh, Look at that. Look at Jock hovering on the off chance that one falls out. Here we go. You take that one, Jock. About 600 people roughly live permanently on the Chathams, spread over the two main islands, Pitt Island and Waitangi.
We've just been down the wharf and seen the crayfish coming out. Can you enlighten us to what's the crayfish industry like in the Chathams now?
Well, it's pretty good, I think. They've caught their quota in the last couple of years. There've been, ups and downs since the boom days, but no, everyone's getting a good share of the fish, and the fish has been good price the last couple of years, Yeah. So I think it's pretty healthy.
Yeah. Now, back to your other love here with the farming. How's the farming going in the Chathams?
Well, it's been up and down. The last 2 years we had a drought, which is, people don't sort of believe you have a drought in the Chatham Islands. We have a drought. The last 2 summers have been really dry, and the winter in between has been dry. And so we've had a bit of we're down about 1,700 lambs on a couple of years ago, and we're down about 600 or 800 ewes this year. We're trying to come right, but the biggest problem is the shipping at the moment. We're just having a bit of a problem getting the stock off the island, So hopefully that's going to come right one day.
Are the young guys getting into the farming industry on the island, or is it all old fellas like you and me?
No, it's a problem here. There's my oldest boy's 50, or over 50, and he's one of the, I suppose there's only about 7 people, I think, younger than him on the island on farms, which is a bloody worry.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worry throughout the farming community all over the country. Still, it's a beautiful part of the world, and a small community. The community is close, or tends to be so, and there's lots of community activity, even though there's not many people to do it.
Well, we're at the netball here in Waitangi on a very brisk morning in the Chatham Islands. Greg, you're not a born and bred local. How long have you been here, and why did you stay?
I've been here 40 years in September. Came here in 77. Came here originally working in the shearing gang, and I stayed mainly because of the lifestyle. So I stayed for that. Yeah.
So you've got yourself fully immersed now in the Chatham Islands lifestyle. You've been on a lot of committees and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Try to do my bit for. I've been on the council, the trust, on the jockey club. Most things to get involved in. Yeah.
Wonderful to see these children playing here. Now, this is the sports facility here in Waitangi. You've got the rugby ground round the corner, of course, which how much is played there during the year?
We have the odd invitation side come in from the mainland in the winter, but touch rugby's played there in the summer. Kids rugby, of course, gets played in the winter. It's not getting played here this time because of the memorial game that we're going to go and see this afternoon. Everything gets shifted to Kaingaroa just for that one day.
And the racecourse around here as well, that's a famous old one of the early ones in New Zealand, I understand.
Yeah, the Chatham Island Jockey Club is the second oldest jockey club established in New Zealand. Of course, they started racing on the beach at first until this facility was set up.
Magnificent. And so around the island to the settlement of Kaingaroa. Now, Jock's going to tell us soon about the why they're playing this match here. He did hint that it was a memorial game dating back many, many years.
Well, we've arrived at the Kaingaroa Club Rooms for this memorial match, and I've got Ben and Tash with me now. Welcome to the show, you two. Great to have you here. Tash, what actually happened here in 1931?
So there was a Kaingaroa rugby team that left for Owenga for a rugby match, and on their way, tragedy, and they weren't seen again, presumed drowned.
So this lovely bay out here, Ben, that's where they left from?
Yeah, they left out of the harbour here, went around the point, and they presume they went down off, there's a reef called Blind Reef around there, they think.
And they were never ever seen again?
No, never found anyone.
So that being the case, there's been these trophies. This is the first one, the older one. They've been played pretty much every year?
Pretty much, yeah. I believe there was a few years there that it wasn't. Yeah.
So then you've got this beautiful one over on the other side, Ben, that's come back into it. So this is obviously very important for the island.
Yeah, it's pretty important, mainly because of the loss of their lives.
So there's a few boys come back from the mainland for this game, Tash?
No, just the school kids really, and you just sort of rally up whoever comes, any new person that comes to the island. Pretty much one of the questions is you play rugby, and you'll be playing for Kaingaroa. Yeah.
That's the same the whole world over. Come and play for us. Bit of tag just to rip a rugby, just to get things started for the little ones before the game itself gets underway here at Kaingaroa.
I've got Chris Morrison with me now. Now, welcome to the show, Chris. You've been involved heavily in getting this game organised?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Yeah, thanks. This is the first time we've had the field at this particular spot, so it's taken a few days to get it up and ready.
Yeah. Why did you move from the other place?
Just to get it a little bit closer to home, and it's actually, though you wouldn't tell from looking at it, it's a lot flatter here.
Oh,
yeah.
So the weather's cold, but they tell me there's going to be plenty of heat out there on the field.
Yeah, there normally is. Yeah.
This game, of course, means a lot to the island. It's commemorating a tragic incident, so everybody really gets behind it and puts the effort into it.
Yeah, it really does. It's it's something that brings the island together, and there's not a great deal of people here.
Yeah.
Now, certainly the rugby community's has shrunken massively, so it's really the only game we get, and it's great to see a turnout,
Yeah. I see there's some wee ones young fellas have been playing, and girls earlier on. There's still junior rugby on the island?
Yeah, we run junior rugby through the winter every Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, there's not huge numbers, but the kids all get out and have a run, and they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sets them up well for high school. We've got some, players coming through high school teams out there that are doing really, really well.
Gee, I love that. We wanted to play some footy here, so we just came around, found a flattish bit of land and made a footy field. Very important though, isn't it? Kaingaroa against the rest. It's a memorial game. Jock told us why. A tragedy way back. And yet they still remember it all those years on.
Well, sport, Mace, is a wonderful thing, and our sport of rugby is very much in our hearts, but it brings communities together, doesn't it? And we remember the people before us. And a game like this, fantastic. I love it. Regardless what field it is, it's here, was at Eden Park, Twickenham in England, it really doesn't matter. You're out there doing it with your mates. Well, that's a good turnover, actually. Penalty, but nearly a turnover.
Oh, come on, ref, why me?
The referee's going to agree with me.
Of course I said so. Braid then, Dakota Braid. From a good long way out. And that looks pretty good. In fact, that looks very good. So the Kaingaroa team go ahead by 3-0.
The home team.
The home team.
The home team's up with a scrum, have we? We've got 15-metre left-hand blind side. They're stacking the blind side too, you see. The rest, the opposition, the yellow jersey aren't. So this has to be a try on the left-hand side. No, they've gone right.
Not when you go right. All good angle run there. Terrific angle run. Outside in, coming off the halfback, running straight across. Referee said nothing's going to happen there.
Another penalty, I'd say. Guy's flopping over the ball.
It's a bit easier for Braid than the last one. It almost had a charge there, look. So 6 points to 0.
Fantastic. Looks like it's played in pretty good spirits. They said it was going to get a little bit heated. Hasn't yet, has it? But I guess there'll be some niggle in those rucks that we're not seeing, Mace.
Edited highlights, Carmo. Edited highlights. We can chop out the nasty bits. Now, that young man just went through the smallest gap that he could find in the fence. Right above him, there was a much, much bigger gap.
Hey, this is pretty good movement, though, from the rest. Going the width. Oh, unfortunately broken down there just as I said that.
They've retained possession, though.
Yes.
Kaingaroa in the two blues. Now, you heard mentioned a couple of times about the school kids in high school and whatever. There is no high school here on the islands, so they have to go to the mainland, to New Zealand, as the Chatham Islanders say, for high school. Many of them, in fact, probably most of the kids seem to get schooled in Christchurch.
Just good build up here, Mace. This is very good.
This is a terrific run here. This is Prendeville, Logan Prendeville. And over he goes. Well, that's a long, sustained period of attack by Kaingaroa, and they got the first try of the day through this man, Logan Prendeville.
Well, on the wet and forget replay, remember the build-up went to that far left-hand side. It was broken down. They did retain possession, but then just came back once more using the width of the field And Prendeville, she's shown a good pair of heels. He's wearing jersey 5, but he's playing out in the backs and he's playing all over the paddock, actually, the young man. And he gets the first try of the afternoon.
The spectators starting to rug up a bit more as the sun gets lower in the sky and the wind seems to get just a little stronger. The temperature is dropping. Here they go again. Out wide on this right-hand flank do Kaiangaroa.
Oh, how good's that?
Very good.
Keep the ball alive. New Year's going out. Ball movement's been good. I want to go that left. Yes.
Now they've got numbers out this way. And one
Draw
more
and
pass
pass.
scores. Oh no, he'll go himself. And eventually the pass comes and it's McCormick who goes in. Eugene McCormick with the try, and again, a wide sweeping move from Kaiangaroa. First one way, then the other.
Well, once more on the Wet and Forget replay, regardless of where we are, we're seeing some sublime skills, keeping the ball alive, which is fantastic. So any winger seeing that should take note, never run out like that. And then the draw and the pass, the offloading, and with the offloadings, the support as well. So Eugene McCormick, that's a well-taken try. Time must be nearly up here. Final conversion.
Oh, he makes it look easy, does Braid. 18 points to 0. The home side Kaiangaroa have won the memorial game here today at Kaiangaroa on the Chatham Islands.
Floyd, what an outstanding game.
Oh, it was a cracker, mate. One of the better ones that we've played, and the boys dug in deep and gave it a good crack along.
Yeah, it was worthy of the occasion.
Oh, these games always are, Jock, you know, because we don't get to play very much on the island, and for the occasion that we do actually play it for, you know, all the community rises, and even when we get visitors to the island, they seem to, you know, get into the momentum of the day and join in as well, which is good.
Really, it's a whole bunch of mates getting together and having a game of footy. Kaiangaroa against the rest. The rest came from all over the Chatham Islands. But Kaiangaroa take the new trophy, and presumably they get the old trophy as well. She's a beauty, that old one. I love the way it's only got one arm left. And so the day ends for Jock, and he returns to Awarakau Lodge.
Rosemary, first of all, pretty flash place you've got here. How long have you been operating this business?
It's been going for about 12 years now.
And what's your busy season? What time of the year is your busy season?
Probably about November through till end of April is our summertime, is our busy season.
Yeah. Now, Greg, of course, you've got the farm to operate here as well, but you obviously play a part in this.
Yeah, I'm sort of the go-to man in the business. I drive the van and look after the guests. Yeah.
So, but you're not so busy as that you weren't able to participate in the memorial game at Kaiangaroa?
Yeah, I still like to keep involved in rugby. It's always been a passion, rugby for me. So we try to get 2 games a year. We don't have a regular season. And we try to get a trip away to New Zealand every couple of years. And we always like to invite teams to come to the Chathams. We look after them when they come here, and we try to reciprocate by going back to where they come from at some stage. So.
Oh, that's great. Well, Toyota Grassroots Rugby would like to thank you two very much for hosting us here. It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Grassroots Rugby for coming, having the opportunity to showcase our rugby on the Chathams.
Well, there you go, folks. That's kind of an invitation if you heard it there. Get in touch with the Chatham Islands people and get your team organised. Get out there, have a game, because it's a heck of a spot. It's like nowhere else you've ever been.
Well, our time in the Chathams covering this memorial Kaiangaroa game has come to an end. We're just about ready to go home, courtesy of the Air Chathams. We've had a wonderful time here. We've seen some wonderful people, some wonderful places. You ought to come and try it sometime.